Hello, everybody. Praise the Lord. I am going to talk to you uh, about three spirits. Three spirits, and these three spirits that you will find in children, and you will find them also in adults. And these three spirits, they can happen at conception, at the time the mom and dad come together and a child is created within those 48 hours. It can be that time, it can be early childhood, or it can be later on in life. And usually it happens when the children, and let me move here. It usually happen in children, and then it goes into their adulthood. All right, so what I am talking about here is the spirit of rejection. I know a lot of people don't really think about that, but the spirit of rejection. All right, praise the Lord. So we're going to talk about that here. Let me get kind of settled down. All right, so we're talking about the spirit of rejection. So like I say, it's three of them. It's the spirit of rejection, the spirit of self-rejection, and the spirit of fear of rejection. Now, a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand what happens. It allows uh, these demons wait for the parents to reject them. Okay, so what happens is, if a child, uh, a mom and dad come together, the mom get pregnant, and then she said, "Well, I don't want this child." Well, then that leads the spirit of rejection. It enters that child, or the daddy say, "That ain't my child. I don't. It ain't my child." So the spirit of rejection come in. Y'all, people may think that, well, they just little baby, they just little thing, but they have the time of conception. They have a spirit. God gives them a spirit because now they are alive, and that spirit is sensitive to the parents. Sensitive to the parents. And if the parents reject that child in any way or form, then the spirit of rejection comes in. Okay? And so we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about that. Let me go get this real quick. I'm kind of moving around today. Where did it go? I am looking. It done disappeared on me. Oh, wait a minute. It's over here. Let me go here. Over here by my saxophone. All right. So we're going to talk about these things, okay? So, but they come in. The spirit of rejection, it comes in. And like I say, it's rejection, fear of rejection, and self-rejection. Okay. So if you see these things in your children, it usually comes through children that's in the system. And a lot of times, not even that, just if they in the family environment where the environment was just simply not good. Okay, it could have been, let's say, parents on drugs or something like that, and they spent no time with the kid, and they pushed them away. Or even that parent may have been rejected in their parents. Their parents rejected them. You know what I'm saying? And then they have the children, and they do the same thing. They're doing what their parents did, reject them. I don't spend no time with you. Sometimes they may tell them, you're no good, you ugly. I wish I didn't have you. You're going to be like your father. All these things. Instead of showing love to that child. Because the child had no control on being here. They showed the child rejection. So we're going to look at a couple things about this. Like I said, it is rejection, the fear of rejection, and self-rejection. So rejection, it could be you start seeing things like they reject other people. They refuse to be comforted. They don't want to be hugged. They don't want to be touched. All right. They have a hard time believing. They foul language. They cuss a lot. they swearing, they stubbornness, they defiant, rebellion. All these things come from the rejection, and this is because of that aggressiveness. Okay, what do we have? And some things that kind of you'll see in a child's loneliness. They'll cry a lot, and because they're trying to comfort themselves, lust, shyness. This rejection can come from child abuse, and like I say, child abuse has many different forms, right? They feel worthless, right? They have a manipulating spirit, the children do. And sometimes they get into the fantasy lust, stuff like that. And these are just the fruit of the rejection. It's not the rejection itself, it's the fruit of the rejection. So they can withdraw. They have moodiness, obsession, rebellions, delusion. They get into a lot of daydreaming because they're being rejected. They have hatred towards things. They become exhibitionists where they start showing their bodies off and stuff like that. They have resentment inside of them, and they always are seeking attention, you know. And that's all part of it, That and it can run into, because of this rejection, it can run to mental illness, suicide, depression, isolation. They already feel isolated because of the people rejecting the people who should love them, the people who should do these things, push them away. And they can go into schizophrenia too. All right. So like I said, these rejections can happen at conception, like I said. They can happen in the mother's womb if the mother rejects the child, or if in the matter of birth. The birth, they didn't come out natural. Sometimes if they don't have the natural birth, then they have to use these tubes and everything because the baby's hurt. So, that can bring up rejection. And the baby doesn't bond with the mother. That's one way of knowing that there's rejection there. Because if the baby don't latch on to the mother, then there's a spirit of rejection. There's something wrong with that child. Said that child just automatically knows that this person didn't love me, and that baby doesn't latch on. All right. And so if it doesn't latch on, it doesn't bond with the mother, and that's that spirit of rejection. It doesn't bond. It can't bond because the child felt rejected. And I mean, there's a lot of you who have grown up into adulthood who felt rejection by your parents, by your grandparents, and stuff like that. Children being adopted, well, we know that there's a spirit of rejection there because of whatever the situation was with the parents, and the parents are not there. And then you go into, a child will go into self-rejection, right? Because of the things they go through. They feel that they're not worthy, they're not loved, nobody appreciates them, and everybody lies to them. Most of the time, people lie to them. And I hate to say in the system, a lot of people, I mean, they have good intentions, but they do lie. And the children don't go by your actions, they go by your word. And if you don't keep your word, then that's rejection. That's rejection, And so they start self-rejecting themselves to protect themselves. They say, no, I'm not going to show you love. I'm not going to show you affection. I'm not going to do these things because I don't want to be hurt again. I'm telling you, rejection is a powerful thing that the devil uses to destroy people, So they find other ways to try to soothe themselves, right? And it could be, like I say, it could be hereditary. It could be something that's generational. If the parents have been rejected all their life, and there's been a series of rejections for the parents, then that's the same thing for the children. They will feel that it's a generational. We call it a generational curse, and it has to be broken. one thing that I have learned about these rejections is that you got to always be truthful with the person, and don't beat them up. They need deliverance from it. They do need deliverance from these three spirits, you know. And like I said, the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection, you know, they don't want to say I love you. They don't want to put themselves out there where they'll be rejected again. So they have this fear of being rejected, uh, because you promise something to them and then you don't do it. Well, then they feel that rejection. It just makes that demon stronger inside of them, that uh, they're uh, what do I want to say? They are building that thought or showing them that, hey, you can only trust me, the demon, right? You only me, the demon, and you can't trust nobody else because they're going to reject you. So that caused the child to withdraw, or the person to withdraw. I mean, it doesn't have to be the person. It could be in marriage. Let me put it this way. Let me do it this way. So it could be in marriage. Say a couple come together, and say they come together, and let's say the woman put on some weight. All right. So the man rejects her and say, "You looking bad. I don't want to have no sex with you," and this and that. So it brings a spirit of rejection on to that person. That's abuse. All rejection is abuse. I want to let you know. So now that woman does not feel open to love her husband. She's always going to feel shame. She's going to withdraw. She's going to rebel, and vice versa. If a man is with a woman and the woman talks about his manhood, well, that man's going to withdraw. He's going to pull away. Now he's been rejected. That's what I'm saying. It's not only with the children. So that's why we got to be careful. God says that we are to love everybody. Everybody. We love everybody, you know, and not be rejecting. We got to just be forgiving of people and stuff, because we don't understand what they're going through. And you really don't want that rejection off in there. I mean, there's so many things, you know, that's in rejection. They get fear of failure. They get anxiety, worry, depression, hopelessness, despair, insecurity, inferiority, low self-image, sadness, grief, sorrow, inadequacy, self-condemnation, self-accusation, inability or refusal to communicate, you know, fear of failure, fear of others, fear of opinion. I mean, there's so many things that's in these spirits of rejection. It's rejection, fear of rejection, and self-rejection. And it takes a little while for people to come back from that and to grow. But it takes deliverance. I'm going to tell you, people, it takes deliverance. Open your eyes and start looking. If you got children, look at your children and see what's going on with them. If you're an adult and have these issues, you need to seek somebody. And I mean, counseling is good, but you really need to seek somebody who can deal with the spirit, man. I mean, because I'm telling you, you can go to a therapist, a psychologist. They can give you pills to deal with your body, you know, with your mind, your physical body. But this is a spiritual issue. This issue is a spiritual thing. Sorry, I got sleep or something in my eye. But it's a spiritual issue. And the only way it can be dealt with is through the spirit. Only way. Only way you can be set free from these demons is they got to be cast out. You can't cancel them out. You can't give them drugs and all this other stuff. They ain't going to leave, y'all. You have to cast them out. And a lot of us know we done went through some type of rejection in our life. So we need to go before God and find somebody who can help you to get set free from this. All right, well, praise the Lord. I just wanted to talk about those three spirits that are hurting people, and you need to be set free from it. All right, God bless.